the space where we dive deep into the mechanics of chronic pain and the science of relief.
Whether you're navigating migraines, neurological tension, or just looking to better understand how your body functions, you're in the right place.
Let's clear the mental fog and get straight into today's insights.
Good evening, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Here in North Carolina, it's been a warm day today, hasn't it? Quite warm, but it's nice. It's not raining. So, welcome to Heads Up with Charya. And tonight, we're talking about the nervous system again. What can we talk about? So, I sent out the cute little GIF. When I was thinking about the episode tonight, this little GIF came to mind, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what our central nervous system does. When we are constantly in fight or flight, it just sends out all of those warning signals in our body and stuff. So I thought that was a really cute meme, or not really meme, it's a GIF. So yeah. So it does act like, your central nervous system does act like a dashboard, a warning dashboard for your body, for your engine. And a lot of people think because they have all of these issues going on in their bodies that they are broken. But they're not broken. You're not broken. Your system's just overwhelmed, and you're going to have to learn to get into that sympathetic system. So, get out of the sympathetic and get into the parasympathetic. So, because when you constantly have that gas pedal to the floor 24/7, you are going to either run out of gas, that chronic fatigue issue, or you're going to crash. You're going to come down with an illness that maybe takes you down a lot longer than you expect it to, or it's an illness that requires medication. So sometimes we run our bodies so roughly that we have to replace some of our parts. We have to get our hip replaced, or we have to get our knees replaced. Sometimes we have to have organ transplants, don't we? Because sometimes we are just so rough on our bodies that we just don't take care of our bodies. And there is no trading in these bodies. We can take our car to a car dealership, and when we get tired of it, or when we want to upgrade to a new model, we can drive to a dealership and say, hey, I want to trade this car in. I want that new car over there. We come to this planet with one body and one body only. So we truly do need to take care of it. Now, first and foremost, I'm not telling you to go off of your medications. If you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, if you have an issue that requires medication, I am not telling you to go off that medication whatsoever. But I am telling you to work with your doctor. And if you start making some changes to your diet, to your behavior, and to things that's going on in your life, you might start shifting your A1C naturally. You may start shifting your diabetes or your high blood pressure. And if that's the case, you need to be working with your doctor and keeping an eye on those things that you're on medication for, because eventually you may not need it. So, what are the things that can start those warning lights flash? Digital fatigue. How many of us are 100% guilty of this? Too much screen time, computers, phones, even your TV. When we're constantly scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or insert whatever social media program app you want to, they often throw us into emergency mode, stress mode, and start pumping out all of those stress chemicals into our body. Doing that also shrinks our brain's focus and our decision centers, believe it or not. And it locks you into that wired state that runs deep, and it ruins your sleep, and it stops your body from chilling out. That's why I always tell you at the end of my shows, go outside, listen to the birds. I've been hearing mourning doves and catbirds outside. And that, believe it or not, just listening to the sounds of nature helps your central nervous system to begin to regulate. So if you can, put that phone down and go outside and listen to the birds. Or if there's no birds outside, if it's so dark that the birds aren't singing, listen for the crickets or listen for the tree frogs that you might hear. So physical clutter and chaos. How can physical clutter around us cause our central nervous systems to be out of whack? So when our environment is in chaos, things are out of place, piles of clothes or piles of papers, our body doesn't really have the opportunity to just rest and relax, because everything else is just keeping it in chronic flight or fight. It's constantly, because there's so much chaos around you, scanning for threats. So it keeps you in that fight or flight, and it never gets to get into that rest and digest. So my recommendation, if you find that this is one of those issues that keeps your nervous system ramped up, I want you to find one space in your house that you can go into that just, it makes you feel good to go into that room, whether it be your sunroom, whether it be your back porch, whether it be your living room, your kitchen. You know, if you've got a nice little bar there in your kitchen that you just really enjoy sitting there, it makes you feel good. Get that room 100% clean, so that at least you have one room that maybe every other room in your house is cluttered or chaos. You still have that one room that you can go into, and your body can have time to reset and relax. Past or present trauma. If you have past trauma that you've not worked through and worked on, then your body is going to constantly be in that fight or flight. If you're in present trauma, that definitely has your body in that fight or flight. Our brains actually rewire and treat the world as a perpetual threat from past trauma and present trauma. It is a biological protective mechanism, and it's not a choice. It's not that you choose to be in that fight or flight from that trauma. It's just what happens. Here in New Bern, there are several excellent trauma therapists that if this is something that you need to work through with a trauma therapist, then definitely reach out to me. There are several here in New Bern that I will recommend to you to go to. Emotional burnout. And you're probably thinking, what's emotional burnout? But if you're always happen to be on, say for instance, you just always have to be on guard and be prepared to react, that is going to increase cortisol in your body and keep that adrenaline on a constant pump. Your body, your brain, they just get denied recovery time for that. And just know that when you take time to be able to rest, that recovery time is not being lazy. It's called taking care of yourself, and it's biological maintenance. So it's okay to tell people no. And if there are people in your life that you notice that when you're around them, that you just get so stressed out, it's okay to spend time away from them. Matter of fact, I recommend it, because if they are constantly ramping up your fight or flight, it's not good for you. Sleep deprivation. Yes. Not going and getting regular sleep will cause issues in your central nervous system, because when we go to sleep, our bodies, the cranial sacral fluid, recycles around the brain, and it washes out and just kind of cleanses the brain when we sleep. So if we don't sleep, if we don't give our bodies that opportunity, it's not going to flush all that junk out that has acquired and happened throughout the day. So you've got to charge your battery. I tell you that our bodies are kind of like cars, and we have to be able to charge our battery, or we're going to run out of steam. And it keeps your body in stress mode, and it starves your cells of energy again. Like I said, it replenishes the cells in the brain. So is your phone next to your bed, or even in bed with you? You need to get it out. TVs. I recommend that people don't have TVs in their bedroom, because when you're falling asleep, that is the most influential time to your subconscious. And if you are listening to the news, you are listening to a TV program that has commercials, those commercials are going to sit in your subconscious. That fear that news always pumps out is going to seep into that subconscious, because you're vulnerable when you're falling asleep. So get them out of the bedroom and train your body that when you open the door of your bedroom and you cross that threshold into your bedroom, your bodies are like, oh, it's time to go to sleep now. And your body will fall asleep a lot easier once you train your brain to understand that the bedroom is for sleep, or for a couple things. Poor nutrition. Yes, if you don't eat healthy, it is going to affect your central nervous system. Imagine having a diesel car and putting gasoline in it, or having a gasoline vehicle and putting diesel in the tank. Neither one of them is going to run right, and your engine's probably going to fail. That's basically what happens when you eat foods that are not healthy for your body. The gut is very key to your brain. So processed foods, sugars, and caffeine truly do promote chronic inflammation in the body. Yeah, there is some inflation, isn't there? But inflammation in the body, again, that's going to cause the migraines. It's going to cause the pain in the joints, and it's just going to be unhealthy for the body. It destabilizes your blood sugars and overstimulates the neurotransmitter pathways when you eat the foods that aren't healthy. It disrupts the nerve cell functions as well, and it increases anxiety and mood disorders. So I'm not telling you to go whole food plant-based like me, because everybody's body is different. So reach out to a nutritionist or someone that can help you with the diet, or just listen to your intuition. That's what I did when it came to my changing of the diet. And learn which foods are going to be most beneficial for your body. So truly work with somebody that can run tests with you and see what are the best foods for your body. And physical illness. So when you have your allergies, when you get sick with a cold or a virus, or if you come down with an illness that, say for instance, diabetes or muscular dystrophy, your body, that is stress from an illness that is on your physical body. So it will challenge the immune and nervous systems constantly to fight infection. Um, and your body will do everything it can to conserve energy to help you to recover faster. That's why craniosacral therapy and those still point inducers that I had you make last week, they can help you by helping to reset the body. Just putting your still point inducer in the morning or in the evening, that helps the resetting of your body's computer. Just always remember, give your body rest. Rest is productive. Our bodies are amazing, powerful healing machines if we take care of them, if they are given the right environment to work with. If you don't eat healthy, or if you're living in a constant state of stress, you're going to notice that your colds might last a little bit longer. You might notice that if you cut your finger while you're chopping onions, that it might take a little bit longer to heal that cut. So we have to provide the environment for our bodies to be in that healthy healing state. And it just really begins within the changes that we can make. Obviously, craniosacral therapy helps. Obviously, if you can do those still point inducers, that helps as well. We have so much power within our own bodies to help ourselves heal. So I hope everyone has an amazing night. There's just a beautiful night outside tonight. Go out, enjoy a little bit of nature as the sun goes down. Be blessed and have a great evening, and see you next Tuesday.